Okay, so you hopefully have been waiting for this. You've plowed through all this video. You want to learn about the FrankenStove. Well, the FrankenStove is this Jetboil Stash Pot combined with our top-rated burner, which is the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe burner. Again, we raved about its performance in cold and wind. So you take that cold wind performance, you add it to this pot, and you have a killer setup. Again, this will beat this $200 mountaineering stove, this MSR reactor, which weighs twice as much. But before we go into that, I'm going to give you some reasons why you shouldn't buy this stove. First of all, this is an expensive setup. You have to buy the whole $135 Jetboil Stash system to essentially buy this pot. So this turns into a $135 pot. And then you have the additional cost of this burner, which is about $70. So you're looking at about a $200 stove system, which is a bit steep for most people, which is why we think that probably buying this $30 Olecamp pot, if you're not concerned about weight and a little extra performance, is a better version. So Super Stove is way more economical. But this stove is way lighter, and it performs even better. The other problem is that this Jetboil Stash Pot was designed to go with a low BTU burner. This is the Stash's original burner, and the low BTU burners do have an advantage that they're very fuel efficient. So as long as you're not in super cold conditions, they are more fuel efficient and they boil water fast. What happens is this burner gets into trouble in cold and wind because it's not a regulated burner, it's a low BTU burner, and it's not wind resistant. So in cold and wind, it kind of chokes. Whereas this thing, the cold and wind doesn't bother at all. But here's the problem, is that this pot is designed for a low BTU burner. So not only was it never designed for this burner, and Jetboil would never recommend that you use it or even want you to use it, there's also a problem. These are pretty thin fins, and there's a problem of maybe melting them, warping them, delaminating them from the bottom with this high BTU burner. That being said, Allison and I have used this setup in the desert. It worked fine, but we were careful. The only thing we did is boil water in it. I would be a little leery of using this stove with food in it and creating a warm insulated pocket in the bottom and potentially warping or melting these fins. That being said, let me sing the praises of this stove for you. This was our top performer, both for fuel efficiency and boil times in freezing temperatures with wind. This boiled a point of water in 1.8 minutes. Fastest boil time ever. And this stove is also, system is all very light. It's just slightly heavier than with using the standard Jetboil burner. It's probably around 8 ounces. So lighter than pretty much any other stove system out there, and incredible all-round performance, with the caveats that it is both expensive and the use of this pot on that burner is not approved. So we can't recommend that you use it. We use it, we love it, we think it's a great stove, but again, we use the term FrankenStove kind of not lightly. There are some potential concerns with using this stove.